it is my pleasure to have you visit my channel. Give the video a pre-start by hitting the subscribe button. A 38-year-old celebrity may rely on Rhea Ripley and Damian to help him depose Braun, shattering record as the champion of the International. The celebrity in issue is Jay. Hoped event on USOJ is going to punch in the digit. Just one contender event for the World Cup will be held in the future. This next week, he'll be chasing his first championship in the Stamford-based men's singles. Rise in the ranks. If he does well in competition, the odds of success increase, the door to new opportunities for him. In order to defeat Breaker and seize distinguished position, the Terror siblings might help Jay win the championship by assisting him in deposing the current champion. The reason for their decision to back Jay can be based on the prior connections to the Eradicator. In the event that the ex-blood relative is involved, it slipped your mind. A romantic subplot was included, joked about with Jay and Rhea Ripley for a little while. Some time ago, when USO initialized, reached the red brand, he seemed to be relentlessly pursued by the verdict. They grouped to become a part of them, but he declined the offer many times. In the end, this arranged for a meeting between both Dominic and USO. The mysterious in the end, Jay prevailed against Dom. He made a call me motion after the victory. Approaches Ripley, informing her that should contact him. In addition, USO said in behind-the-scenes chat with the X, the world champion for ladies should make contact, to her implying that Dom D is inferior to perfect match for her. Moreover, Rhea Ripley mentioned USO while they were a relaxed start celebration for SummerSlam 2024, commenting on his well-being, though main cause for Rhea Ripley to dedicated priest to aid JUSO on his mission to. The key to winning is having the right friends to fight with on the Day of Judgment. Group by endorsing USO the Terrifying, ensuring his allegiance in the ultimately go up against their former. Now, this is only a faction, wild guessing, and the outcome of which this narrative advances. Sami Zayn could enlist Juso's help in assist Damian and Rhea Ripley with their priesthood. Infamous Archer and the Eradicator both received their Day of Judgment had betrayed them, partners in training for the 2024 SummerSlam. First-rate live performance ever since. They have been engaged in a conflict with a party, but they're severely outnumbered. Would benefit from having a backup plan in place for this situation. The former Sami Zayn may also team up with bloodline partner to aid the Terror. USO and Zayn, who are twins, are about to. Nowadays, in terms of collaborating as a group, witnesses saw Jay energizing his long-lost friend before to his bout with Braun Breaker. Additionally, they have hinted about trying to win the World Tag Team Championships, which are now under Finn's control. The Rods of Baylor and J.D. McDunn disclosed. Fan engagement was continued by Rhea Ripley. Assurance, the ex-champion responds. Defending WWE champion Cody Rhodes announced today on social media that Rhea, a promise made by Ripley to a little American Horror Story fans, get ready for showing on the Waller effect of grayscale later on this evening's WWE Match of the Century. In addition to Cody Rhodes, Rhea Ripley came out during last year's Fanatics Fest in New York City weekend. However, an enthusiastic young wrestler refused to part with a bracelet she had crafted, reached out to Ripley and asked if she could fulfill his pledge. The 27-year-old, she had planned to present the bracelet to the SmackDown star, and today, Cody Rhodes took to Instagram to announce that he had gotten it. Narrative that the message was responded to by Rhea Ripley, together with an emoticon for suppressing tears, her Instagram for a glimpse of her response. When you click on this link, Cody Rhodes will be asserting dominance in the WWE title match versus Kevin Owens at Bash in Berlin in the summer of. By the 31st, the prize fighter had already spent during a year assisting with Rhodes in his competition with the lineage on the previous blue brand writer for WWE fails to think the business has amassed sufficient competitors for the wrestling legend Cody Rhodes. Not long ago, WWE was scolded by Vince Russo for failing to accumulate sufficient stars to contest the title held by Cody Rhodes. Discussing our current sports, the Georgia wrestling event featuring Russo. According to Russo, the advertisement failed to be prepared to hit the road after he finished the match ahead of Roman Reigns to claim the title at WrestleMania XL. AJ Styles and Logan Paul were beaten by Rhodes and SEO on their own in the last several months to hold on. So what is Cody to do with his title? Throughout the narrative, they are aware of his plans to bring the plot to a close. That strategy was in location for an extended period of time. This is our current trajectory, as Russo persisted. He concludes the narrative without they failed to construct any opponents for. He was compelled to wrestle AJ, engage in wrestling with Logan Paul. He is unopposed. For the man starting at 345, they construct nobody. Moving on, Rhea Ripley will also be in unfolding in Berlin at the WWE Bash. Around the beginning of the month, she has teamed up with defeating the Judgment, Damian, a priest, the time that Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan spent at the premier live event taking place next weekend. Environment on MNR had not been steep in the expectation of pressure. Weeks of uncertainty for WWE fans were enthralled by the expanding hostility between the current WWE champion, defending champion, and the defiant Rhea duo. Ripley and Damian were previously the couple's priests. Matching the findings of the Day of Judgment, found themselves on the periphery of interest group, having their allegiance called into question. Their futures vague, yet depending on this evening, they plan to transform into well-defined, and a new era begins for WWE. The 39-year-old actress's bio issue was well known to the. He had fought his way through the limelight, the ranks, but consistently demonstrating age, once again, was nothing more than a number. In recognition of his dogged persistence and constant resolve, he had earned the admiration inside the locker room and the adoration the audience, but he did possess one item that she had. Still haven't won a WW Finals. And this evening, we have the dubious assistance from Ripley and the priest that the champions' ambition was within their grasp. The current WWE champion's dominance possessed, brutally imposed onto the unprepared, shattered glass and shattered corpses. As he carried his aspirations, he was a formidable, a gigantic creature that seemed unbeatable. While reigning in the ring, he was characterized by power, and many thought he was going to maintain dominance for the foreseeable future. Yet as the ancient adage goes, throughout the reign of every king will inevitably end. Hearsay claims have been circulating for weeks about disagreements among the Rheas on Judgment Day. Once upon a time, Ripley and Damian were support system of the group has strengthened, becoming farther apart from the team's leader. Rumors were circulating behind the scenes, conflicts involving covert gatherings with relation to the priest, Ripley, and the elderly man contender, but no official confirmation was made in. Fans of WWE could only guess what happened next. A watershed moment on the evening of the finally, the big game was here, and tension in the arena was palpable. With his customary cockiness, certain that he would emerge victorious once again, the champion stepped into the ring. The 39-year-old's challenger received an ovation that sounded like a thunderclap. The moment he stepped foot in the ring, his last opportunity to compete in the WWE. In the championship, the two players faced off, passing one another via the air in between, splintering with energy just before the game started. Instantly, it became clear that the champion failed to fully appreciate the difficulty of his challenger. A 39-year-old celebrity battled with an equal, intense level not seen since. During many years, he was on par with the champion in terms of blow for hit, stubbornly refusing to yield. The audience was trembling with anticipation, having the impression that there was transpiring, yet the victor emerged as professional, and he had no intention of turned a blind eye to the loss of his title. His challenger started to show signs of weariness. capitalizing on his physical attributes to acquire. On top of everything, it seemed as if the aspirations of the 39-year-old celebrity were gradually fading as the audience's enthusiasm waned. The unexpected step taken at the exact moment when the arena seems to have lost all hope. A shadowy blackness unleashed shock waves by means of the audience and the WWE Network, out in a flurry of jubilation and bewilderment. As soon as the power was restored to Rhea Ripley, when the priest Damian stood in there staring intently at the winner. For a brief second, the victor, astonished, attempted to make sense of all that was going on. Wasn't supposed to make an appearance. The priest and Ripley had set up an ambush. It was evident that they were present in order to shift the balance toward the 38-year-old celebrity. Initial strike by Ripley, punishing with a savage kick the champion